The High Limit roster push continues with another new addition, and I've got some details on the package the series has been using to add teams this offseason. We'll also talk the curious Max Blair situation, another all-star full-timer, and more. Let's go. It's Tuesday, January 7th. I'm Justin Fiedler. This is DIRTRACKR Daily presented by Kubota Genuine Parts. Since it's a new year, it's time for some new goals, and we are going to bring Facebook into this as well, besides just YouTube. 2025 is all about 50K. 50K on Facebook, 50K on YouTube. We added about 12,000 new subscribers on YouTube in 2024, and right now we need less than that to get to 50,000. So if you don't already, hit that subscribe button. It's free. It's always going to be free. And then over on the DIRTRACKR Facebook page, we're north of 25,000 at this point, but we added nearly 23,000 just in 2024. So why can't we also get the Facebook page to 50K? Let's try it. Hit the like and follow buttons. Tell your friends. Come along for all the dirt racing conversations wherever you tune in, whether that's YouTube, Facebook, the podcast places, wherever. The High Limit Sprint Car Series roster grew yesterday yet again. This one shouldn't surprise you if you saw this news and if you're a regular around this show. We talked about this being the likely destination for Danny Sams on the show last week, and it was confirmed on Monday that the Florida driver will indeed make his first ever national tour run in 2025, and he's going to do so with High Limit. 116 career 410 starts and already wins with the Fast Series and the IRA, plus victories with the GLSS and Top Gun. 3 of those fast wins came during Ohio Sprint Speed Week in 2024, and that really seemed to be the point where a bunch of folks really started taking notice of Danny Sams. 43 of his 67 410 starts this past season came against the Outlaws and High Limit, and rumors of him joining a national tour really persisted all through the second half of the season. Make no mistake, though, even with the success he's found fairly quickly, this is going to be a big leap for Sams and his team. In 38 Outlaw shows this past year, they made 25 main event starts. Their best finish was 11th. With High Limit, it was 8 features in 12 appearances and a best finish of 10th, but that 10th was in a split field feature at Eldora. This team, they're going to have a lot of tough nights. We talk about this all the time with new teams, with young drivers coming into these national tours. They're going to get their heads kicked in. They know that coming in. We know that when they come in. But they're going to learn a lot as well. Sams pushes High Limit to 12, joining Brent Marks, Brenham Crouch, Casey Kane, Brad Sweet, Tyler Courtney, Spencer Baston, Dazen Persley, Aaron Reitzel, Justin Peck, Tanner Thorson, and I know I keep saying this, probably Rico Abreu. The other name that is a possibility here that we also mentioned last week is Chase Randall. We did that rumor show last week. One of the things we've been hearing a lot is that Randall is likely going to be back in his own car next season, or a family-owned car next season, and High Limit is something that's been talked about for him as well. And something interesting to note here about High Limit, I don't believe this has been publicized anywhere, but they did make changes to their point fund and tow money for next season. And as we've seen them kind of make a late push here with this roster, this may be coming into play for some of these guys. Based on some documents I was sent from an industry friend, they've added $50,000 total to the point fund for next year, or for this year, adding extra money to positions 4 through 13 in the standings over what they paid in 2024. The champion still gets $250,000, but those positions I just mentioned, they're getting a little bit of a bump. Also, it appears as though their tow money payouts are being made monthly, with structured payments paid out via a schedule from March through the end of the season. Those fixed monthly payouts are tiered based on points position. It's basically like top 5, then 6 through 10, then anything below that. They're basically tiered. And the summer months, they actually pay the most. So not every month pays exactly the same. And then also, it appears everybody gets the same amount for the month of March, no matter where you are in the standings, which I'm assuming is to help with that first West Coast run. And then depending on where a team is in points, this tow money package is worth somewhere in the low to mid 20,000s, 20 to 25,000 to near 40,000 for the top teams for the season. And this is obviously on top of point fund and purse money that's available for all of the full-time High Limit teams. This does still differ from the Outlaws, who I believe still pay their tow money out weekly. So we've seen this happen on the Outlaw late model side where they kind of get this monthly package. Obviously, High Limit doing this now. Sprint car teams on the Outlaw side, though, still getting that tow money weekly. We are still waiting as well on what the Outlaw package is for 2025. We know that obviously they've announced the schedule, but we don't know what their point fund and some of the other bonuses are. Usually we get some sort of release on that. We're still waiting on if that happens or not. Moving along, let's talk about this Max Blair situation. I've been including him on, kind of all along on the Lucas roster the last few months when we've talked about it because the team made it known that that's what they were doing. There was a Facebook post back in December, actually on Max's personal page, about an end-of-the-year team party, and in it they mentioned celebrating Max's 2024 Lucas season and looking forward to his 2025 Lucas year. But then, yesterday, the World of Outlaws Late Model Series dropped an announcement that Blair would be returning to full-time competition with their side in 2025. This was characterized as a return to the Outlaws for Blair, who was last with the series in 2022, and there were even quotes from Blair in the release talking about Volution, his chassis swap, and other things. But apparently, maybe Blair isn't so set in those Outlaw plans. Late yesterday afternoon, Blair shared the following to Facebook, saying, quote, "Been in the shop all day, missed a busy day on Facebook. We will be running a national tour this season. We will get through speed weeks and evaluate where we stand with both series and make a decision on what we're going to do. I just wanted to make sure and clear up any confusion. We're looking forward to getting started next week with the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series," unquote. So this sounds like the classic situation of sign the paperwork with both sides, run speed weeks, and then decide from there. It does make it confusing, though, especially when series want to start promoting drivers, and then we end up in a situation where it looks like the Outlaws have egg on their face for announcing this when in reality they don't. Blair's team signed the docs, and then he even gave quotes for the release, so it's not like he didn't know this was coming. I would like to see both the Outlaws and Lucas make it a little more clear which drivers have completed the paperwork in advance of the season. Maybe mark them on the point standings or something. It would help with that transparency, especially when you see guys start racking up provisionals and then they were never talked about as a full-timer. There were definitely guys who were full-time at 2024, especially on the Lucas side, who I didn't realize were until partway through the season. It would also give folks like us something to follow through that opening stretch of the season and speed weeks, watching to see who runs well on which side and then ends up making those decisions. And when it comes to those series choices, it's the guys further down the order who this type of thing is going to apply to. Nobody expects Bobby Pierce or Hudson O'Neal to then suddenly flip sides after speed weeks. I think we can pretty safely assume that they're where they are when it comes to series choices. If you're following along with the roster updates for the new All-Star Circuit of Champions, they are up to 5 with another addition in recent days. 15-year-old North Carolina driver Aiden Price is making a massive jump into the 410 ranks, joining Mark Daly Racing. He'll be in that 2MD machine that we've seen Cap Henry drive over the past few years. Price has been a regular in microsprint competition at Millbridge, and he's made super late model starts around the Southeast, including with the Carolina Clash Series and at tracks like Carolina and Sumter, Ultimate, Lakeview. I don't see where he's made any sprint car starts, though. Hopefully he's going to get some laps in somewhere before the season starts, either in competition or testing. Price joins Devin Borden, Leighton Wagner, Darren Naida, and Cody Bova as declared with the All-Stars so far. The All-Star season doesn't begin until April 11th at Attica. Still a lot of time here for these guys to figure all of this stuff out. We'll end it there for today. The show topic is still very full right now. We'll likely talk those Word About those sprint car rule changes on the show tomorrow. Definitely some curious things there that I wanted to dive into, but I want to give it plenty of space on an episode, and I had all of these other things I wanted to talk about today. So still some other interesting silly season things we're waiting on, as well as some other series news, so stay tuned on all of that. I hope you guys have a great Tuesday out there. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.